Nadonana sema zwendi Bate tanga wekele Biyavuma Kukwajiyo windobo Kausondela Hangi utelelege Waufundela Ukubayi ndomi Kausondela Hangi utelelege Waufundela Ukubayi ndomi Ayo baby don't be your LTV, oh, don't be your
Okay, so this is Thabisa. She is a South African artist who came to New Haven, and she's here to share her music with us today. I guess I'll start with one question and then you can perform something for us. So one of the biggest questions that we had was, what music defines your community in New Haven in Africa?
I mean, I don't even mean the specific music in itself, like what, yeah. You know, okay, let me tell you this. For me, what music is for me, and as I grow within the music, is that it's who I am, and it is what the community is in its real time, because that is what inspires me. I know you haven't been to that question, maybe jumps to it, but that music for me is people. Music for me is life in itself. So I know I'm from South Africa, halfway across the world, but there are a lot of commonalities within communities, and there are a lot of different sounds in terms of music in the two different communities, America and South Africa. But you know, music is music, and music, if it's honest and if it's real and it's true, it's the same everywhere. In my communities, within the American community and the South African community. So yeah, that's my thing. All right. The guy there, he says, you know, play with the blood, and I feel like I feel like I understand what he means by playing with the blood. It's when you play with your ear, you feel the beat, you sort of take the song in a place more like spiritual, rather than just the mindset of knowing your notes and your schooling and all of that. So when I played with Brianna, it was something like, you know, Brianna, you're just gonna listen to the song and you're gonna know it. And she was like, oh. Okay, like, okay, oh. You know, so it was just like a wonderful experience to come from two different worlds, and she's like, man, you know, I get what you're saying, but you might want to write things down for me. You know? So I had to call someone who plays the instruments to actually help out, so we can meet each other halfway, which is something that a lot of people don't understand. How can I be a singer, but I don't know these dynamics of the music? And sometimes I understand why they would think that, because for me it's like when I work with musicians, sometimes it's like, or in my case with her, it was like a blind man leading a blind man. Because even though she knows, she can see, you know, with my world, when she comes in my world, she sort of becomes blind, because we have a different set of rules.
that she's not accustomed to. So it's like me, I'm trying to lead into something that I don't know what is this that you're leading me into. So, but it's an interesting journey. That's what makes my music unique and different, because of all of those elements in my writing, in my composing of the music, in my performing my music eventually. So even with my writing, I write when a song comes to me. It's not a matter of go to my keyboard and go. I wish I could do that. I would be brilliant, right? I can't do that. I wish I could do that. For me, a song comes, a melody comes, or I'm feeling in a certain way, maybe overwhelmed, and I start singing a song that's in that mood. I may not have the words yet. Maybe I just have one line, and I start building from that one line. It sort of leads itself. And sometimes when you have the song, naturally it just comes one word, like a sentence after another. And then quickly, as soon as I have like 3 lines, I know I have to record that, or just write those lines, or just the melody, because I know there's a potential song that wants to come out. And I've lost a lot of songs because of this lack of skill, that you guys are learning right now at school. So with me, with writing, for me, it's a movie in its own. Just having to have a song, it's just so dramatic. Like I have to have the song and I have to record it now. If I don't, I know I've lost out on something that maybe could have been a hit, or maybe it could have been something great on my album, or a song that someone would have loved so much and they would have related to. So, but I do write regardless. I write in my hardship, I suppose. But I write and it comes to me and I put it down. And eventually I build it up with musicians. I go to someone who can play keys or piano or whatever, or guitar, and I sing them what I have in mind. And sometimes I have the notes. Sometimes I love bass. So when I hear some songs, I hear it in the bass line. And then there's this like, and it stays with me. And then I record it. And then I meet a guy, and I'm like, oh, girl, say, listen to this. Can you emulate what I'm doing? And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, what notes? What? I'm like, I don't care. I don't know. You should know. Just do what I'm doing. And then they find it. Oh, okay, it's a C. I'm like, whatever that is. and then I say, keep it there. That's what I want. And then we can work from there. And then I start building from there. So it's a very weird way of how I create my music. And then from there on, I allow other people to have their input on certain parts of the song, when they feel, and I also feel like it works with the song, and we all build this beautiful song. So this is a song I wrote as well, without music, but then I also had like a certain line of instrument, and then I sent it to someone that I worked with in South Africa to play for me, and they did that, and it sort of built itself up. And it was this song. This song was called Ayo Didi, if I'm correct. Ayo Didi meaning one of a kind. I am a Xhosa speaking woman. That's my home language. And English is my second language. But Xhosa, I write in Xhosa, and in my second album, this song I'm going to sing is in my second album. And in that album, I write in Xhosa, Venda, it's another language, and English. So in my country, South Africa, we have 11 official languages, which is crazy. and here you guys have 2, and I get surprised that people not half of this country does not speak the other language, which is very, very surprising to me. And in South Africa, we have 11. So I'm still on the 3 languages in my country, and still I'm barely holding on the other languages. And I still have like 9 more to go, or something like that. But so by being in America, actually, I want to write in Spanish. I want to learn a little bit. My daughter is in school, so she's like, I'm gonna pay this money. It's a private school, it's a lot of money. You come there, you bring the change of that money. You teach me the things you learned. So she knows. You go to school, Mommy, what do you want to learn today? Because we were doing Española, and I'm like, what's that? And then she explains, well, we're doing this and that, so you want me to teach you a couple of words, because I want to start talking to you at home in the language. It helps me remember it. So I'm like, yes, do that, and then we learn.
First question, I already asked you about how music has shaped your community with you. What were the differences between South Africa and Haven? So I guess my next question is, what struggles have you encountered, if any, in your career when switching over from
South Africa to New Haven? Like, have you encountered any struggles?
Yeah. I'll tell you this. Firstly, I'll tell you about my struggles in South Africa, coming here. Well, before coming here, and then I'll tell you, if any, here. As a local artist in your own country, this could be common for many of you because this is your country, but in my experiences with my own country is that people underestimate you, and they underestimate what you have to offer for them. And I mean, in a way, it's understandable to some point because there's so many of us, and to pick, you gotta have something special for people to really notice you. But at the same time, even if you do have that something special, there are so many politics even within the music that you have to be a certain thing or know some certain people or certain things you need to do for certain people in order for you to get to get your way or to get the things you deserve as a person who's working hard to achieve them. That happens in every job, especially when you're a woman. So I've encountered sexism as a singer in South Africa, and I've encountered harassment at times if I wouldn't do certain things or behave in a certain way for certain people, men. Then if I refuse those things, then I'm treated like, well, anyway, you are nobody. We're not gonna get you anywhere. So I've encountered things like that in South Africa, in the music. So and then I've decided to just keep it to myself and do what I know to do, even if I'm doing it in the smallest of places, but keep on pushing or hustle. That's a term we would use right on the streets. We say we're hustling. So I would hustle and do my own restaurants and do my little spaces and get my name out there, because music is so complex. It's not just having a voice or knowing how to play an instrument. There are so many things attached to them, especially when you want to make it big, especially when you want to take yourself as a business, because once you're a musician, you are a business. It's not a product to buy from a store. You have to walk like the product and represent that product. So I've encountered those kind of setbacks from people, and as well as within myself, not having enough resources to push myself where I need to be, coming from an environment where I was raised by my grandparents that didn't necessarily could afford to take me to beautiful schools like these ones, where I can further my studies and learn more about my music and expand it. That was a challenge. It still at times is a challenge today, not to be able to have this kind of background in order for it to accelerate my music. So what I can do, I probably could do it in a day, but it has to take me 6 months, right? So the financials, they were one of those things that made me feel like this is such a struggle to try to achieve this dream. This is such a, it discourages one to in order to meet their dreams where they need to be met. So those were the struggles in South Africa. A lot more, but I will skip. Coming to America. In America, I think it's because I'm not from here. But as soon as I introduced myself as a singer, yes, people were like, okay, we all heard that. Everybody's a singer. Nobody could take me seriously until they saw me on stage because I persisted. I was like, I just want to do it. You don't even have to pay me. I'll do it at this art festival. And then I did do it. I sang, I organized a couple of people to play for me, and then I did it. And the people that were like sort of underestimating me, they were like, oh, we're gonna pay her. Put her on a bill right now. I know we can talk about money, but we're gonna pay her. She's gonna do this again next year. So you constantly have to prove yourself as a person who's also a stranger from another country, and who's a woman, and sometimes as a person of color as well. All of those elements are in one. Those are the struggles, and I know I'm still going to face them for some time, but within my music, I try to make people aware of those things. I try to talk about them in a way that it's not trying to yell at people, swear at people, or put placards on people's faces, but actually talk to their conscience, and they could understand and actually agree that it's not fair, So in America, at this moment, I can say it's a bit of both, but mostly great, because I feel like because I am a new thing here, people are more willing to give it an ear and say, what do you have to offer? So far it's been going great, and I've been continuing to still prove myself I can do it, and while I'm trying to write songs and keep myself musically active. I'm sorry, it's a long time.
That's okay. Okay, so like kind of in tandem with that previous question, one of our other questions was what was the biggest lesson you learned after overcoming these struggles, or just like the biggest lesson you've learned
Oh,
as
yeah.
being an artist in general?
Yes, the biggest lesson I've learned, still learning, is that, and it seems like a cliche, everybody says this, and there's no, it's not heavy enough for people to really think that it is what it is, but believe in yourself. Trust yourself, and you gotta have a plan. I'm not a big planner, and I don't believe I'm saying this because I'm not a big planner, but you have to envision where you want to be. You gotta make small goals, 6 months, and you gotta achieve it. If you don't, you can't go to your year goal because you have not shown yourself that you can stick to a plan. So who else? Because you remember you're gonna employ people. When you work with band members, those are your employees. They need to see you as a leader and need to see that you have a plan, you have a vision for them that they need to follow. So you gotta have a plan. Where do you see yourself? Do you wanna, even if it's just going to a restaurant, that's a plan, it's a valid plan. Because you wanna get yourself known, you wanna have your fan base, you wanna also exercise your voice, yourself, your musicality, you gotta be out there. And then you gotta also see how much you're gonna learn your value as you go along doing all of these things. So for me, I've learned that I have to trust myself and I have to believe in myself. No one's gonna do it for me. So that's pretty much it. It takes me back to that, believe in myself.
Okay. Let's see. I guess my next question is, do you have any advice to local artists? Because we might have some people here that are trying to start up one of their own albums or something like that. Do you have any advice to these people on how to get started?
Yeah, you know, you guys got this. You got stage 1. You are in this wonderful school. You are learning all of these things from Miss Amy and everybody else, and take them seriously because those are going to be your tools you're going to use out there when you're in the jungle, right? So and then once you have this as your base, you're going to have to think about discovering who you are because it's very important. It's a very important element in your music. That's what makes every artist, every musician different. That's what make Picasso. That's what make Mozart. So you gotta find that personality, whether it may seem crazy to others, because that's what they say. When people have something they don't have, they say you're crazy, right? When you have that beautiful hair, they go you're crazy. But that's what makes you stand out, right? And you gotta match those kind of things with your personality, and you gotta trust yourself. I know some of us are reserved, and that's not a bad thing. To be reserved and conservative, it does not make you a bad thing. You will find something that drives you nuts in a good way in your reserved space, because it doesn't mean that you can't be crazy. Just because you don't go, yeah, doesn't mean you're not crazy. You go, yeah, in a different way, right? So find that way that makes you go, yes, and makes people notice you and go, like, she's crazy, even though she's so quiet, but she's just got this. She knows what she's doing. You gotta find yourself as well. It's important to know you. Don't let other people define you, right? Even if they call you, don't let them define you. And by crazy, I don't mean literal, it's a bad word that I'm using, but what's the right word? Maybe I would just stick with different, you know? You're different. So find what makes you different within your personality, and then attach that to your music, and see how you can work that together with the skill that you've gotten here at school. And you can, because with that you can also find your certain style that goes with your personality. That style, that personality can be shown within your music, the way you write, and that changes how your music sounds. And then we know that's your sound. So just find you, and merge that with what you've learned already here at school. So I can say for that.
Do you guys have any questions?
So I noticed when you were like saying you like were really getting into the music, and I know I've worked with a bunch of singers in her bands, and a lot of times they have trouble really feeling the music like you were, and kind of like they usually stay still, or like how do you like feel that?
How do I feel the music? Oh, well, it's easy for me because my personality is an extrovert, a person who's not that shy, so that is a God-given special thing, but because nobody has this, and I respect that. And I notice it, and I also sometimes need to tame it down so that it doesn't become a little, stepping on, over the boundaries at times. So I know I'm aware of it, that I'm that person, and I do use it to my advantage to make me comfortable in the spaces that I'm in. Secondly, I would say to somebody and also what makes me move and be comfortable on stage is that the songs are coming from the heart. I am terrible when it comes to cover songs. That would be a different me. If you saw me singing a cover song, you would think she's probably gonna get arrested once she's done singing. That's why she's tense. Like I would seem really weird, and I've done it before, and I've done it on big stages like the Idols in South Africa, and that was the worst experience, yet great, but a worst experience of my life. Going to the South African Idols, like the American Idols, because I had to sing people's songs, and I don't listen to people's songs, and I try to, but if I listen to them, I don't listen to them to try to know them so I can sing it for people. I would listen to a song for 10 years, but I just know one line out of that whole song. So when I had to do that, read people's words and then try to make it my song, and so break my heart, I was like, but I'm not broken, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I struggled to put myself into people's shoes, and I'm still working on that. But for me to be able to do this is because my songs are coming from the heart, I wrote them, and I can when I'm telling a story. So if I were to give advice to someone who's shy, or who doesn't know what to do with the stage, what is to tell them to find that groove within them. They must sing at home. You gotta go crazy. Your parents must tell you to shut up all the time. That's good. You're doing something good. If they don't, there's something wrong. You need to make them say, "Shut up, Danny," because you are trying. Because you have to make that noise. You have to sing out of your voice. You gotta let your voice, your vocal cords open up. You gotta. Because you gotta get lost in your world, in your head. You gotta see yourself on stage. It's like acting. You gotta act. Performance is an act. You're you're a storyteller, you're an actor, you're a singer, you're all of those things. So you gotta practice them like you would do a script, trying to be another character. And also you gotta, if you're scared of people, I look at your hands. That's good. But when I look like this, you think I'm looking at you, but I'm just looking at your hands. You won't know, right? That's a skill. That's a skill that you gotta have too. You know, if you don't be intimidated by people, but sometimes people are even scared for you. Like they are so scared, they don't know what to expect. So don't take that energy from them. You know, just actually tell yourself you're the boss now, because they're gonna say yes to anything you say, because you're bringing them this dish of food. So offer them with a kind heart and just do your thing and just look them over there, you know, and their crowns.